Welcome to Michigan Football Film Study Focus on the Offense with Al Borges, brought to you by Autograph. Of course, Sam Webb's not here this week. Prayers and thoughts with him and his family as he's going through this tough time. I'm his fill-in. I'm Josh Newkirk. Most of you might see me sometimes. I'm the guy that stands next to him in the post-game videos. But Sam and I have been working together for roughly 13 years now. I actually used to cover Al when he was the offensive coordinator at Michigan. And man, it's been a while, but it's great to be here. Great for this opportunity to just pick your brain, Al, and just I'm sure everyone here that watches the show is excited to see you break down USC versus Michigan. Michigan, of course, got the big win, 27-23, a rush-dominated game. Actually, you don't know. I don't know if you saw me, Al, but I saw you. You were fired up in the elevator post game.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it was the emotions. The emotions were real. The emotions were real. The palms were getting sweaty. And then Michigan gets it done, of course, with that drive to win the game after struggling all throughout the second half. They made plays when they needed to, and they got the W. It was a great game in the end. And just want to get your thoughts as we start breaking down these plays. It's just an exciting time here as we're a third of the way through the season.
Yeah, winning with 32 yards passing probably isn't going to sustain long. But when you beat SC, and I am not an SC fan. I coached at UCLA 5 years and grew up a Notre Dame fan. So you can see how much I don't like SC. And when the guy started whining on the elevator about penalties, that was it. I didn't want to hear that. I mean, they got their butts kicked on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and I heard that before. I don't want to hear that anymore. It brought out my deja vu of other days. But that said, I thought it was a great way to win a football game. The final drive and taking it down, making the plays when you got to make the plays. The second half they were kind of dormant. Things weren't going too good. But when it counted, they rushed the football. And when it was all said and done, they rushed it for damn near 300 yards. So that's what it took to win this game. I think it's going to take more in other games. Okay, I really do. But at this point, this is a work in progress a little bit with a new quarterback. So hopefully they're building for what they need to do to win other games as we go.
Alex Orji got the win in his first start, like as you mentioned. Not the numbers that you normally would like to see from your quarterback, 32 yards passing, but you got the big numbers in the rushing attack, 290 yards. Khalil Mullins leading the way, and that's going to segue us to our first play we're going to look to, Al. A big run by Khalil. He's been a game breaker for the Wolverines all season. You're seeing these big plays, chunk plays for touchdowns. Why don't you set us up and tell us what we're going to be looking at?
Well, this is going to be a split zone. This is the first touchdown, and this game was a game of great defense and explosive runs. That was it. Now, there were some other good stuff in there, don't get me wrong, but without the explosive runs, this game is lost, okay? Without the great defense, this game is lost. So from an offensive perspective, the ability to do something I wasn't sure Khalil Mullins could do, and that's break. I knew he could pound. There was no doubt in my mind about that. But against a good quality football team, could he break long runs? He did. Add the Donovan Edwards dimension to it, which we knew eventually that was going to happen, right? You got yourself 300 yards rushing. Why? Not because of 6 and 7 yard runs, but because of 63-yard runs and 43-yard runs and those types of things that really put their rushing defense in the forefront, a rushing offense.
Yeah, you mentioned that about Khalil, like just to see his ability to hit those game-breaking runs. It's not just this game. He's been doing it all this season. He had some big runs last year. Yeah, and just his average, I think, is around 8 yards a carry right now. He's a bigger back, and I know you coach some bigger backs, and just to see his maturation from a guy that was sort of a spot player, right, at the end of 2022, and then to come into where he is now, the development, the maturation of him as a skilled player, it's great to see. And I know you've seen some guys develop through the years, but this is not something you see every day. And just a guy that no one expected this, right?
No, not like this. I knew Khalil was a good back, but that he could bust long runs, I had my doubts about that. Maybe against lesser teams, but teams like SC, I would have never guessed it. So he's won me over as a big play back. Donovan Edwards had already won me over as a big play back. So now if they can add some balance to this offense, they could really be
Absolutely.
formidable. And I think they can. I think they can. They're going to have to risk attacking the middle of the coverage, which they didn't do in this game. Most of the throws were to the flank, and I kind of understand why. I get it. They've had turnovers in their passing game, so they've been very careful. But as Alex Orji develops, I think because these defenses are playing differently, or they're going to play even more so from the first half to the second half. SC was a completely different defense. The middle of the defense is going to have to be attacked with a passing game at one point in time.
Yeah, to see how Orji develops here going into the Minnesota game this Saturday is going to be interesting. As you sort of see what the barometer is, right? What does he need to do for this team to contend for a Big Ten championship this year and win some of those big games, because there's a lot of them remaining on the schedule. So that being said, let's just jump into that first play about Khalil Mullings and break it down for us, Al.
Well, this is the first play. This split zone is a play that kind of resonates a little bit with some of the things we've been talking about, okay? And that's how even when Orji doesn't carry the football, how he influences the defense, okay? And we're gonna kind of hone in on this as we watch the play, all right? And you can see it. Oh, that's so pretty. That's so nice. Look at him. That's
just
a
to the
lot
house. It's
of
amazing.
body moving awful fast. Yeah, straight. I mean, it was like Scouty, man, right through the middle of the defense, untouched. Now, it's the antithesis of that later on. He isn't untouched on his last run, but on that one, it looked like the scout team. So let's detail this a little bit, because there's more involved in it than a lot of people may think. Okay.
Just gotta love those plays. It just shell shocks the defense. Just a gut punch.
Yeah, it was a shot in the arm at that time because everything was kind of stagnant, and then all of a sudden, boom, he hit that, and away we go. So
it was refreshing to see. You've already seen the impact of Orji. Just with the defenses, just in my layman's eye, seeing them everybody in the box just try to stop the run.
Yeah. And here's a prime example. This split zone versus 4-3. They got 3 linebackers in the box. Okay. Basically a 7-man front to start with, okay? 4-3 versus just a basic cover 3, okay? But they motion, and we'll show that here in just a second. I believe it's first of all, the Mike linebacker on this is unblocked. Now, either he's mistargeted or he's just simply influenced by Orji on the pull. And you'll see as we go through this how that shakes out, okay? So keep an eye on him as we go. Put the receiver in motion, and he basically just goes and widens and blocks the cornerback, okay? Which is critical to a long run because you want to get those back-end guys blocked so they're not involved in trying to run him down, okay? That's how it starts. That forces that adjustment. Corner widens, safety moves to the middle, okay? Now that's significant because you remember where the ball's run, right? Remember where the ball's run. It's a run away from that safety. Okay, that's where we start. We engage the 5. Hinton goes out and engages the 5 technique, or the stand-up, the wide guy, okay? That's his guy. We double team with the center left guard to that Sam linebacker or nickel, whatever the hell he is, okay? So those two are going to double that 3 and then fall off for that Sam linebacker there. You see that right there. Crucial. That's where the point is. That's where the center's telling everybody to go. Okay? Right guard and right tackle come down on the 2-eye, and the tackle link comes down on the Will backer. But now this is where the question mark is was he supposed to take the mic? Because I'm wondering, not very often on a split zone do you leave the mic unblocked. So I'm wondering if Link got the memo on this. Should he have come for the Mike linebacker? After the fact, glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't, because the Mike got influenced by the pull. But that being said, I think the scheme was designed for him to pass the Will and take the Mike. I'd have to talk to the coaches, but I'm guessing that's what it was. Okay, here comes Mullins and Orji. They open away from the play, which means Alex has got to open that door, front out, okay? Hand him the ball so he can see the whole line of scrimmage. Don't get in the way. Don't get in the way. Make sure you clear so that Mullins can see what's going on. With that, now the split zone guy, I believe that's Zach Marshall, comes across and kicks out their stand-up. That's the split zone. One back one way, one back the other way, okay? With that action and that kick out, now Orji hands the ball off, but carries the fake out enough to influence the Will, the Mike, and the free safety. There they go. There they go. They move just enough with Orji now, knowing that they know Orji's a threat. They know Orji's a threat. They've been told all week they're playing a new quarterback. This guy's going to run more.
Right.
So they're understanding now that there's a chance that ball could be pulled.
So Orji gets an assist on this a little.
He gets an assist. He gets a block without blocking anybody, right? He gets a block without blocking anybody. But in my opinion, this was a huge reason this play went for a touchdown, because those three players in particular were influenced by the possibility of the pull.
So just the way the impact of making the quarterback switch to Orji.
See him jump outside.
Defenders move with him. Yep.
Mike wasn't even touched.
Mike wasn't even touched, and
wasn't even touched.
Off to the races.
Yeah, it's amazing how that works. Sometimes you can blow it. I mean, I'm not sure they did, but I'm just saying, sometimes just the fact that the quarterback is presenting the threat of the run divides the defense a little bit. Sometimes a lot, sometimes just a couple steps. But those couple steps in this instance were enough to break the long run.
Yeah, it's great to see. Great to see the impact of the young quarterback already coming in that first game, and the he's had on the rushing attack. What we just haven't seen at the beginning stages of the season, sort of reminiscent of what we've seen the past couple years, right? Just getting that power run game going and seeing Khalil Mullins hit it for the home run. It was a great start for Michigan cool. in that play scenario.
But that quarterback, Josh, it adds another dimension in that they got to deal with. You know what I mean? They got to deal with. Now, I got a question last week. I asked, well, why don't Davis Warren just do that? Well, he could. He could pull the ball, okay. But how much of a threat do they see him as? I promise you they see Orji as more of a threat as a runner. Now, they probably see Davis more as a threat as a passer. But that doesn't involve all that pulling and stuff we're talking about.
Yeah, apples to oranges there. Orji's he's a problem, right? He's not easy to bring down. He can run for the football. He ran for 43 yards in this game, and he keeps the defense accountable. And they had to account for him, and they paid the price because then Khalil Mullins took it to the house for that big touchdown.
Exactly. And just know this: he's not like Denard Robinson, where he's going to carry it, 20-something times a game, and because he's basically your best running back, right? Well, that's not the case with Alex. Is damn good, and he's going to cause some problems, but he's probably not going to do what Denard did. But he's got to do enough to scare them and force them to defend him.
Yeah, clearly he did enough in that game on Saturday, and it's going to be exciting to see how he matures here going in these next couple of weeks, because I expect more of Alex Orji. I'd like to see a couple big runs out of him. I think he's definitely capable.
Yeah, and I'm going to show you what is in essence a +1 run. It kind of is, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I'd like to see him get maybe 4 or 5 more +1 runs where he's designed to carry the ball. They're doing some of that now,
right?
But as they develop their offense more, I think you'll see more where they handle those loaded boxes by adding a blocker and the quarterback running, definitely being a runner, not necessarily being a read runner where he may run, he may not.
Yeah, some of the plays he did last season where he just came in for one play for Michigan. Very reminiscent.
A lot of those were +1s, yeah. Now, this is not really a +1 run. This is kind of a half and half. This play is kind of a half and half. It's a Q counter OT. OT means both guards, O and T, pull, okay? And it's fly action with the receiver who's going to come in motion. We'll show you that in a minute. But it's either a sweep around the end, depending on whether the edge looks clean, or it's a counter back to the boundary if they can't get the sweep in the quarterback's judgment, okay? So let's look at that. We see short motion, and then we see the left guard and the left tackle coming off to double what looks like the 3 technique. Okay. They're going to double him and then fall off for the backside linebacker. So it's temporary double team to the backside linebacker. Okay. The center is going to seal back on the 3. The guard and tackle are going to pull. The guard's going to try and kick out that stand-up guy, and that tackle's going to kind of wrap around to block the will. That's half the play right there, Josh. That's half of it. That's counter. That's counter. That's Q counter. That means the quarterback's going to carry it on the counter play. Now let's look at the other half. Here goes Orgy's going to ride him a little bit, couple scoots, going to kind of shuffle, just to evaluate whether he's got the edge. And if he does like it, he'll hand him the ball, and it'll turn into a sweep. The tight end will block that stand-up, right? The receivers will block the men who cover down with him, and Khalil Mullins will block that safety who's filling in that alley. He's filling in what they call buzz coverage, where the safety's filling in that alley to be the one added one more guy to the front. Okay. So that's what this half of the play looks like. Sweep to the right, counter to the left. And it's all based on whether he thinks he can get the edge. Well, if you look at the picture, the guy's in what we call a 9 technique. He's outside the tight end, Josh, right? So
that's his read. He's reading outside the tight end there on top of the screen.
Right. And he's probably thinking on the pre-snap, he's going, I don't know, that doesn't look as good to me as a counter back to the short side. Because even when the guy goes in motion, you get a little adjustment by that corner, and the flank looks a little soft. So he's going, I'm going to pull this ball because I'm just not loving the edge. Now, may have worked out, may not have, but he's just got to see what he sees and do what he has to do. So he says, not so much outside, more counter, okay? So he rides that receiver, a couple steps, you see the dots, and then decides, I'm going to put my foot in the ground and come in behind those pullers. First puller's going to kick out the stand-up guy you see there to the offense's left, and the second puller's going to wrap around on the weak inside linebacker, okay? If that stand-up guy stays outside, he'll kick him out, and he'll come underneath him. That's what he ended up doing. If that stand-up guy closes, or what we call spills, makes the play go outside, he'll skip around that block and run for the edge. In this instance, like I said, the former happened. He kicked him out. He came underneath, and makes a nice run, drags a couple guys, and gains 12 yards. Well-conceived, well-executed football play, and it fits the quarterback skill set. Great job by Link on the wrap. Did a wonderful job of knocking off that Will backer. I think we have an end zone on this. Watch the right tackle Link. You can see Giovanni's going to kick out that stand-up guy. Boom. Now watch Link. Bam. He knocks him flat on his butt. And Orgy runs through 14 for 2 or 3 extra yards.
And these are the type of plays you want to see, say, probably like 4 or 5 times a game from Orgy. Very capable of getting these little chunk plays that could turn into potentially bigger plays.
Sure, absolutely. Run him enough, and he'll break one eventually. He's got some speed, and you can see he's very physical. He's not like tackling a normal quarterback. He's a big, bulky kid that can run through tackles, and he's got a little maneuverability. He probably juke some guys. But, and again, I think he'll be more and more involved with, running the ball more and passing the ball down the field as we go.
Yeah, definitely a specimen, someone that you feel that can handle ball carries if asked upon. And it's definitely going to improve this offensive rush attack. I'd say let's go into the next play. I believe this was a duo, as I saw in my notes. So let's.
Yeah, this is a duo, and in this instance, I believe this is a duo read. I think. Okay, let's be clear on that, because who knows, it may not be. But if it is a duo read, he's going to read the widest guy, because the way they stop that duo, Josh, is they knife all those dudes down and cancel gaps so that it's difficult to double team. Duo is short for double team, okay? So what happens on this one is the outside guy, and we'll watch this again. This isn't illustrated, so I'm just going to explain it. The outside guy kind of knifes inside and makes the play on the running back after he hands the ball off. Well, the idea is he can't do that. He can either play the running back or he can play the quarterback, but he ain't Superman. So if he's playing the running back, what should have happened? Probably should have pulled the ball.
Playing the running back, then he should have pulled the ball and ran outside.
Right, exactly. And you'll see that here. And it is a little gray initially, but I want to talk about that too. See that? He tackles Donovan for a tackle for loss. Well, if Alex pulls this ball,
right,
he's going to run around the edge. Okay. You can see he's got an escort out there. Okay. He's got an escort. Now, here's the deal. All right. As you watch this can get a little dicey. Okay. And there's a lot of guys that think it's definitive, and it's not. Okay. It's not. What you have to do when you're zone reading, okay, or reading the end man on the line of scrimmage on a possible pull. It could be a zone play, could be a counter play, it could be a stretch, it could be a lot of things, okay? But the guy is unblocked, and you got to read him. You got to read his eyes, because he could be looking at you. You got to read his shoulders, and you got to read his basic demeanor. Now, what the hell does that mean? That means, is he playing me, or is he playing the back? Because sometimes those definitive reads don't tell you much. And the more he does this, the better he'll get at it. Okay. This is kind of in the middle. If you look at it, watch at the beginning, he's kind of looking at the quarterback, but he's positioned not to play the quarterback. And that's why the quarterback's got to have good, strong hands, being able to pull that ball late without a fumble and take it to the edge. Okay. So right there, he's kind of turned. His knee's kind of turned. You can see he's turned, but his eyes are on the quarterback. Okay. But from a position standpoint, he is not positioned to play the pull. So I would say, and there's no doubt that when you can tackle the back, somebody's wrong, right? Somebody got to be wrong. So this is one, again, I think he's going to grow and get better. And you know, Alex is no different than Davis. He's got to grow in the position. Okay. He's got to grow in the position, and he's running a little different offense when he's in there. So there's going to be some pains that go with that. But he's a very intelligent kid, and I'm sure that he'll get all this.
So this is just a matter, because you sort of took some of the words out of my mouth, where a matter of maturation, right? Getting the reps. This is the first game against a big time opponent, and it's just about getting that timing, knowing when, hey, he's going for the running back now. Let's pull the ball and let's pull it, right? So it's just getting those reps and
get those reps and building that chemistry with that back too. You know what I mean? Is when am I giving it to you? When am I not? Understand that I may pull it, you know, and I got, like I said, those strong hands so that the back can't pull it from you, you know. So all those little things, as he does them more and more, I think you'll see he'll figure this stuff out. You'll get less of this type of thing. And you can see right there, just by his body language, he's going, "Oh God, I think I should have pulled that." You know.
Yeah, the opportunity was there, and that's all we're looking for from game to game, right? This was his first game as a starter, getting all the snaps as he goes through the season. Game 2 for him, anyways, in my opinion, is coming up here this coming Saturday. So maybe he doesn't make this same read. Hopefully, he matures from it. Watches the film, right, and and takes the next step.
And the next play is going to be more of what I'm talking about. So we got to show not just the good stuff, but some of the bad stuff too. But these are all things that, as you play more and the coach corrects you, you just take it to heart. Don't be sensitive, and learn, so that the next time, if there's a mistake, it's a new mistake. Okay, you don't want to be recoached. Recoaching's bad. That means you're making the same mistake over again. But next time out, we'll fix that. If there's a mistake, it'll be something we haven't made before. So,
and so you mentioned the next play. We got the next one coming up. This is a passing play. So break it down for us, Al.
Yeah, this isn't illustrated, because I'm trying to really hone in on Alex, because I want people to understand what he's dealing with a little bit too. This is just simply I believe a 4 vertical route. Okay. And he's got a bender meaning the inside slot guy bending under the safeties. When the safeties are split like that, you know, you see the safeties, they're both on separate sides of the field. It's too high. and the safeties are set. So the inside receivers will generally bend around the underneath defender and in front of that deep safety. Okay. Well, what Alex does on this is he breaks profile. Now, breaking profile means you come out of that passing stance that allows you to release the ball quickly. He kind of turns, his feet are all over the place. You know what I mean? He's bouncing around and there's no rhythm to the drop. Hence, with no rhythm to the drop, there's no timing to the drop. You understand what I'm saying? It's 1, 2, 3, hitch, throw. 1, 2, 3, plant, throw. 1, 2, 3, hitch, hitch, throw. 1, 2, 3, hitch, hitch, take off. 1, 2, 3, hitch, move, throw. You see what I'm saying? But there's always a rhythm to the drop. What happens on this is he loses his rhythm, okay? And by losing his rhythm, he can't make a timely throw to anybody, really, but certainly not to the guys that are open.
Yeah, so you hear, you hear about this all the time, footwork. You always look at the footwork of the quarterbacks, and you're just saying, but basically you're saying he can have his feet set to make the correct throw on this play.
And his feet have to time out to the distance of the route, okay? Everything's got a timeout. You can really see it from this angle. And if we could freeze this right about there, see that right there?
Okay.
That is not a passing stance, okay? That's a kind of, I'm looking out there. I gotta reset my hips to make an accurate throw. Where if his hips were already in position, all he would have to do is step to throw. You understand what I'm saying? But what happens here, his feet are out of position. Now he's got to bounce and move around. And I always say, watch a quarterback's feet and it'll tell you if he's indecisive or not. And he's kind of indecisive on this play because his feet are all over the place. Push off that left foot. 1, 2, 3. And now he's got to reclose his hips and throw the ball to the outside guy who you got a shot on. But really, his best guy probably was his inside receivers. He could have stayed in profile, watched the bend, read the safety, and throw the ball either to the bender. You can see him at the top of the screen. You can actually see both of them. Both inside guys. And there he is. See him break open? Hitch.
Yep, he was open.
Let him have it, you know. He's much more open than the guy he threw the ball to. But you'll say that's a result of a read. I'm saying that's a result of footwork. That's a result of footwork because your feet and your mind and your eyes work together, if that makes any sense.
That makes great sense. And the comfortability comes with that. Obviously this was his first real big game experience. And so just seeing that there's a good and a bad, right?
Yeah, the good, bad. You can see that guy bending. He just whistled that ball right by that underneath guy, right underneath that safety. He's got a huge gain, maybe a broken tackle and a touchdown. Who knows, But he's just not positioned well to see that throw or make that throw. Yeah,
and you see the inside receiver wide open.
Add to that very good pass protection. Add to that very good pass protection also. All right. Where's Donovan Edwards? Donovan Edwards. He's not making any runs. He's not. Oh, I told you. I hate to say I told you so. It's not like Devin Gardner. But, okay, you give him enough chances, Josh, he's going to go. You understand?
He's a home run waiting to happen. I've known that
Babe
since.
Ruth struck out a few times before he had over 700.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, this is Donovan Edwards. This is what he is, and this is what you have to be patient enough to benefit from, okay? All right, this is just a simple power play. The only thing that is a little fancy about it, they got an unbalanced look to do it. They could put Gentry at tight end, okay? A little short on tight ends this game, so they put Gentry at tight end, all right? They had, I believe it's Jalen Hoffman, who hasn't played much, but he's in there at fullback. He's doing what Bredesen usually does, okay? Balanced power versus under defense, which means it's an overshifted 3-man line and a 4-deep zone. Okay. All right. Oh, there goes my man Klein. He releases inside that stand-up guy and goes and blocks that safety. That's huge. That's huge on this play. Just so you know. Okay. He's got that safety, and we double down. We double down with Gentry and Hinton, get great movement. We call that a tray block. That means a double team at the third spot in the offensive line. The third spot in the offensive line is the tackle and tight end. Okay, that's a tray block. Once they double him and move him, give him the right of his life, they fall off for the backside linebacker. So those two have those two, okay? Now we seal back. Left guard goes down on that nose guard. Center goes back on that 3 technique. So they got to secure those 2 guys so the guard can pull, okay? All right. And speaking of which, guard pulls around. His responsibility is this Mike linebacker, or the strong inside linebacker, okay? And then the backside tackle, who is Link, he will stab peel. Stab peel means step inside, secure the B gap. If nothing shows, peel back and block the stand-up. That is power blocking. We've talked about this in other shows. There goes my man Hoffman in motion. And what's he going to do? He's going to kick out the stand-up on the strong side. Prefer kick him out so we can crease it inside him. Again, if for some reason he should close down and spill it, we can take that outside, but we're always thinking inside first. We want to run the ball inside whenever they'll give us inside, okay? That's a key block. This is great. Watch this play closely. Great job by Morris blocking downfield. He stayed on this corner so Donovan could break it for a touchdown. Because if he loses this block, this guy could come off and tackle Donovan for minimum damage. He does not do that. He does a great job of engaging that corner through the entire play. Donovan takes the ball on the backside. That's how they run their power from pistol. It starts away from the point of attack. Hand him the ball, and then he attacks. He attacks that gap on the strong side. He may start tight, maybe as tight as A gap, and just kind of slide as he sees the double team develop right off that block. And that's what he does. He hits this thing right off the double team and beats everybody. Outruns number 7, the free safety, who takes a bad angle. And it's his speed against theirs, and my money's on him.
There he goes.
There he goes. See Morris out there? It's a great job by him. Great job. He helped make that play a touchdown.
Yeah, how underrated is it, I guess, or is just people not acknowledging receivers that can block? It seems like it's such a key intricate of every great rushing attack. Right?
Absolutely. And it's really, receiver blocking is all about tenacity. You just got to stay with them. You got to be persistent. Okay. Sometimes they're not massive knockout blocks. They may be just a chicken fight. You know what I mean? But just engage him long enough so that he can't come off and make the play clean. And that's all he did there. He stayed with him. The very last he lost him. But by that time, Donovan was by him. You know, it's about being persistent, being tougher than the guy you're blocking, and being more persistent than the guy that you're blocking. They don't like it. Those corners and say they don't like receivers. Oh, God. No. They're a headache. But that's if they're not complaining, then I'm complaining to you about not blocking.
Yeah, it's refreshing to see, especially a team like Michigan, that if you come into Michigan, Michigan's going to be a run-first team. They want to run the football. So that's an expectation for every receiver that comes to Michigan. And, of course, there's a lot of prima donnas out there in the NFL that just want to be playing those pass-heavy offenses. But here at Michigan, you got to not only catch the ball, but you got to be able to block.
And Josh, that's a tradition that goes way back. We with Bo and them is the receivers have always blocked at Michigan, always been good blockers. When I was at Indiana, we put on a video for our receivers. I want you to watch Michigan's receivers block because they are tenacious. They will block through the play. So we just wanted to send a signal. You want to be a championship team, you got to play like a championship team, and part of that is blocking the perimeter.
Yeah, definitely a mindset. All right, as we head into the next play here, I think we have another run here. Why don't you set us up here, Al?
Plus one run. This is legitimately a +1 run. This is not an option run like we saw before on that sweep counter combination deal. This is 3rd and 3, so this is a big one, man. This is big. They're on the 32-yard line. They got to keep those chains moving, right? And all this is a I call it a cue horn, but it's a pin and pull. It's a pin and pull. What's a pin and pull? One guy pins, and one guy pulls, and one guy cracks, okay? Again, we didn't telestrate this, but I want to show you really all the components of it. Bredesen goes in motion. He's going to pin that stand-up. That's going to allow the right tackle to get around, okay? The wide receiver is going to come down and crack on the inside safety. The tackle is going to pull and block whoever comes up outside to force the run. And Alex is just going to follow him. Very good play, Josh, against teams that are playing man-to-man. Man-to-man.
Okay.
It's a run designed for man coverage because so often those players, when Bredesen and receiver go inside, they follow him. Now the flank is naturally soft so that the tackle's out there blocking on a little guy, okay? And even if they try and exchange the cracks, they're usually trigger late, and it gives you an advantage. So this is a really good call for 3rd down and 3, 3rd down and 4. Last year they used it in the Penn State game on 3rd down and 8 and got the 1st down. So you can see it develop here. See that pin? Yep. See that crack? And there you go.
Right. Yep, having a big guy like that on the outside, always a great matchup to have. Seeing that offense, that's just a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, you can see Morris was doing the cracking, and Link was doing the pulling, and Bredesen was doing the pinning. Okay, and I bet you that's set up totally for 3rd down. That play was a play they had on their chart for 3rd down. It's man coverage. So the stage is set. All systems are go. Just got to execute now. Still got to block them, but you have a good picture for the play. Well called, well timed, well executed.
Yeah, more praise for Morris there. Another great block by the receiver.
Yep.
I can't say that enough.
See those? Look at it. That's pinning. That's pulling. Nicely done.
And that's an athlete.
And then you get a little gymnastics in there.
Right. He's an athlete, man.
He's an athlete.
All right, now set the stage. Michigan's down. They're down in this game. It's the final drive. Haven't really done anything offensively in the second half. I believe it was 4 3-and-outs, and then they had 5th drive. It was a fumble by Donovan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then Michigan's 4 minutes left, 89 yards to go. What are you going to do? You didn't really pass the ball much today. And now
Josh, be honest, Josh. You weren't feeling real good right now, right? Because I know I wasn't.
No, but yeah, I mean, the conversation in the press box was, and you saw it all over, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Do you put David Warren in, right? Because he's he's looked at as the better passer. Is that an option? Is that someone you go to? Because it's 4 minutes left in the game. Orgy really hadn't done much, 32 yards. Then he finished with 32 yards. But he hadn't done much, right? Mm-hmm. But they stuck to their guns, and you got to give it to this. We're going to set up this next play. It's the biggest run of his life. Just a game breaker is what Sharon Moore called him in the post game. Khalil Mullings with his. This wasn't a touchdown run, but it definitely was the biggest play of the game. You got to give him credit. Just a great. You remember that Marshawn Lynch run in Seattle in the playoffs? Had just Herculean effort, right? And that's something you either you got it or you don't, right? You got that extra oomph in your step. I refuse to go down. This is one of the legendary runs I remember in Michigan history that just put his team on his back and just carry him to the promised land, man. Just a sensational run by Khalil Mullings.
Okay, let me set the stage for this before we start this. This is a duo kick. God dog, this is the womb. This is the starting point. This is spring football day one, right? This is a play we put in. We're going to get good at. They're going to have to stop every week. We may run it, 14 times during the game. Okay, it's 3rd and 1, and there's 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game. Win the ball. It's 2:25 when the ball snapped. It's 2:45 when the play started, when the last play ended. Okay, so and I can understand your point. You're thinking, oh God, we got to pass. We better put a guy in the back. We want to throw him for 32 yards. And I wasn't feeling great about it, to be honest with you. But they were, and that's what counts. They were. They felt they could still get it done, and they didn't care where the ball was. Okay, now Herculean effort is an understatement on this play.
Right.
He runs through a wrap-up. That wrap-up meaning the guy had both arms around his legs, okay? in fairly good tackling position, and he runs right through it, not to mention two other guys, which I'm going to show you now. Okay, let's look at it. To start with, we got a double team. Those three guys, all three of those guys are unblocked on this play. Now, the slot receiver tried to get 7, but didn't really get him that good. But all three of those spotlighted players are not blocked on this play. Now, look at USC. You don't need a wide-angle lens to take a shot of their defense on this, okay? Their defense completely changed in the second half. The first half, those safeties were outside that umpire. See the umpire? They got a referee right there in the back. They were all outside that. The second half, they were all inside it. There were some adjustments. There's a reason that they went 3 and out, I guess, 4 times. You can see where they're lined up now. They are double dog, which means both guys are blowing off the edge, okay? And everybody is pinching inside to stop this play, okay? All right. Double team. They kick his ass, okay? He gets knocked off the ball, and then the tight end, I believe it's Klein, falls off and blocks the Mike linebacker. But the movement, the displacement of that 5 technique by Link and Klein really are a big part of getting this play started. Now, the rest of it's obviously Khalil, but getting it started, they were huge, okay? Then you saw those 4 players all block back in duo fashion because they blitzed the guy outside. They spotted the blitz. They targeted the blitz right and got the play started. But they can't block that weak inside linebacker. Okay, I'm going to show you. Now, here comes, I think it's Bredesen, and that linebacker adjusts with him. He's unblockable now. That's the back's guy. No block, no problem, okay? He kicks out the stand-up. The 2 receivers are responsible for the 2 DBs. And Khalil takes the ball, runs off the double team. Now, he ended up in that spot where you're seeing, but the double team was displaced so much that it basically hit about a gap or slightly wider, okay? That might not even be a perfect illustration of where it is. The first guy who's unblocked swipes at his legs, can't get him. The corner, unblocked, wraps him up, both legs, okay? And he runs through that, okay? The third guy comes off and tries to arm tackle him, forget about it, and he runs through that. So the combination of the great double team, the great displacement of the 5 technique, and the persistent running of Khalil Mullins is what makes this play. Come on. Are you kidding me?
Well, yeah.
Me? That guy that got him was the blitzer off the right side. He had to come off the blitz and chase him down. He'd have never caught him if he didn't have to slow down running through a wrap-up. But that's the guy that tackled him.
Yeah, just
how about that one? That's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, you just don't see that every day.
No,
it's just a great run.
Yeah, incredible, absolutely incredible.
Look at that hole. Boom, 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 out. Love it.
See, that's 0. That's the guy that blitzed off the right edge. Okay, just so you know. I gotta hand it to him.
You see him right there.
Yeah, you can see him right there. Yeah. But I think Khalil outran him, but he had to slow down to break.
Right, I agree.
But that's pretty amazing. That is pretty.
Yeah,
that's a championship run in a clutch situation. Period.
Yeah, I mean, it's a season-defining run so far. I mean, you got to, 3-1 at this stage, and it looks a lot better than 2-2. And
it sure does. And you beat the evil empire, one of my evil empires, Ohio State being number 1. But USC being top of that list too. So
beat one Blue Bloods out there. It's always good to get one of those wins. Michigan's been on the short end of those in the USC in the Rose Bowl a few times. So it's good to get that. And we're going to see how they get that W here in the final play.
Oh, the finishing touches. Again, we didn't illustrate this, but we got to talk about the quad power. What's a quad power? Quad power is same play from a schematic perspective that Donovan ran earlier. That little pulling guard, guys doubling down. It's really the same thing. But what they did here is they added a blocker to the scheme. Last time they had a four-man surface, but Klein just blocked the safety. On this one, he's blocking down, and he collects that stand-up guy. I don't know this. Yeah, I don't know that that's Klein. That might be Marshall. Yeah, Klein, I think, is on the backside. But anyway, the pulling guard is going to come around the wing. Everybody's coming down on the gap defense. It's a goal line defense, unlike the last time. They're all wedged up in there trying to stop them from getting 2 yards. It's the last play of the game for all intents and purposes, right? So, and Bredesen's going to kick out the first thing he sees off the edge, and Mullins is going to see it and kind of pop in behind the pulling guard and just carry the guy into the end zone. You can see they're hunkered down pretty good there, aren't they? Down, kick. And he got great discipline by Mullins, knowing that he's going to end up running outside the wing and inside of Bredesen. Because he knows if he gets contact with his shoulders that close to the goal line, he's going to carry the guy in the end zone. He's going to carry him. There's a reason he's carrying this ball.
And yeah, and you mentioned just the great run there by Mullins, the vision, right? Because sometimes you see the impatience by backs, and they'll run into the back of their lineman, and he gave it just enough, fouled his lead blocker, and got right in the end zone.
Okay, if you could just pause it. Oh, nice, good job. Pause it right there. You can see. Okay, so Zach Marshall is going to have to collect that dude. What's that mean? That means he's got to get up and down with his inside foot and kind of wash him to the inside so the guard can clear and the fullback can clear. And then Bredesen is just going to block the first thing that shows outside of 83. Okay? Everybody else is downing. Everybody's down. Here comes Giovanni.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, beautiful. Good picture. Beautiful. Now, Hinton kind of loses a guy, but Giovanni cleans him up. You see that? He cleans him up.
That.
And you see that little cavity between Marshall and Bredesen. And Khalil sees it and just attacks it. And he said, all right, you're not tackling me. Forget about it. That is
how much of this play is sort of the maturation of the offensive line. Maybe they don't make this. Yeah. Maybe Giovanni doesn't make this play a couple games ago, right? Maybe against Texas he didn't make this play.
Well,
but now you're seeing.
Now. Okay, a couple weeks ago we were complaining on Giovanni not pulling and getting the Mike linebacker on a Q power. You remember that? I'm sure you do. On that third and 1 or 3rd and 3, I guess it was.
Yep.
And one of the things that I said at the time in the film is the guard. Why did he do that? Why did he just go around it? Well, he should have. But occasionally, the down block will lose his guy to the inside a little bit, and the guard has to clean it up. And I think maybe that's what he was thinking at the time. He didn't have to then. He has to here. Okay, if he doesn't make this block, we got problems. All right, he's as responsible for this play getting through as anybody is. So instead of running around it all, he sees a white jersey in there, cleans it up, gets the play started. Khalil does the rest.
Yeah, look at that hole. I mean, just that's it. That's all game.
As a coach, I like that as much as I like the long runs. This is just beautiful.
Right. Yeah, Sharon was excited in the post game.
Kicking some ass. Take a name, just saying, all right, game over. Okay.
Man football right there. I mean, you can't beat it.
That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Oh, I got a lot.
Michigan, and I know Michigan fans love to see it. This is the physicality that they've grown accustomed to, right? These past few years. And it's just to see it back in a big game against a big time opponent, because I don't think USC is going away. I think they look like they look legitimate.
No, they got a good football team. They got a real one. But at the end of the day, Michigan was just tougher than SC in crucial situations. Were anyway. I'm not saying not necessarily the whole game, but in crucial situations, Michigan was tougher than USC. Now, Josh, we got to develop that other piece. We got to develop that
Right.
other piece. We got to get. I think, and I'm not, I'm not a fortune teller by any means, but I think the run game's going to start going now. Now we
Yeah.
got to find a way to attack the middle of the defense when those safeties are forcing that hard, and we're getting single coverage. And we don't have to hit them all. We don't have to hit everyone, but you got to hit enough so the safeties get off the line of scrimmage and just they're always add-ins in your run game. So that's the next piece that's got to be developed. Once that's developed, you're in business. You're in business. Defense keeps playing the way they're playing. This team can be very formidable.
Yeah, to hedge off that, like you said, to see Alex just complete a couple of those passes. I mean, just think how much the narrative changes if he hits that deep ball where he came in for Davis Warren, right? And against Arkansas State. I think you just gotta keep attacking it because there's going to be shots. There's going to be opportunities. It doesn't always even have to be a deep ball, but just hitting that guy across the middle, like you said, keep the defense honest because, as we pointed out, the second half, USC, they brought everybody. They were in front of the officials, like you pointed out.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so now
after I look at the L22, it amazed me the difference in their look pre-snap in the second half as opposed to the first half.
Yeah, they sold out. Like, we're going to stop the run. We're going to make you beat us through the air. It's going to be interesting and hopefully positive to see how this Michigan offense develops specifically on the passing side. I do agree with you. I do think that they're going to be able to rush the ball better because I think Orgy's only going to get better. And then as soon as he starts making those correct reads, like you pointed out on the play with Donovan, where he gave it to Donovan and reading the DN and the wide 9, maybe he makes that correct play the next time, and we got a big play there. There's more yardage, more big gains, more first downs, and that's just something you want to see. I'm excited to see it. And this Saturday will be the next test for the Wolverines. But Al, I just want to say it's been a pleasure. Thank you for taking me under your wing today. I hope I didn't interrupt you too much, but I learned a lot. I really, really did. This was an awesome experience.
I think Sam's going to be jealous, Josh. Sam's going to be jealous. He's going to say, God, Josh was pretty good. I better get back on the air. Where's my ass?
I've been waiting in the wings a long time, Al. But me and Sam, we go way back. He's my buddy. He's my brother. I've been working with Sam since I've been 29. I'm in the 40s now. So it's been a great relationship. I wish him and his family the best as they go through this tough time. This was a great experience. So I think that's going to wrap up our coverage here of this film study with Al Borges, brought to you by Autograph, man. It was an awesome time today, and I think that's it for it. Thank you, everybody.
Go Blue.